Giving the town its final nightly check.
Who's there?
It's me, Sheriff. Adam Kirby. You kind of scared me. Till I saw who it was.
What's the matter, Adam? Somebody after you?
Man never knows who might have it in for him, Sheriff.
Well, I think I'll turn in. Night, Sheriff.
Oh, Adam, you got a place to stay?
Best place in town.
I'm asking for the last time. I want my money back.
You made a deal with me, Baines.
Deal? I don't buy stolen cattle, no matter how cheap. All right, mister. Guess I'll have to go to the sheriff.
If that's the way you feel. You want a refund? Here it is.
An actual account from the pages of my newspaper, the Tombstone Epitaph. This is the way it happened. In the town too tough to die. Tombstone territory. The morning of August 4, 1882. A murder had been committed in Tombstone, and there were no witnesses, no clues.
Hello, Harris.
Morning, Clay. Hear you had a killing last night.
Boy, bad news sure does travel fast.
Always. Anything to go on?
No, not a thing. Not even this.
Sum total of a man's life.
Yeah. I didn't know Baines very well, but he seemed like an honest man, worked hard, kept out of trouble. Looks like Tombstone's lost a good citizen.
The town hasn't many to spare.
You know, editor, you're getting to be a cynic.
Where are you going?
See if I can check up on Baines' movement last night.
Mind if I tag along? Sounds like a story.
Yeah, the same old story.
That's what you're doing. Just got myself a shine.
Excuse me, mister. It was an accident.
That was an accident, too. Now you got something to clean up. Think you're smart, don't you? Clean a floor, I'll clean it up with you.
You ought to show more respect. That's no way to treat a real He-Man.
He-Man?
No, you're wrong. Adam here, why, he's done all kinds of things. Come on, Adam, tell us a story about gold hunting in California.
Let me alone, will you?
Oh, now, don't be bashful. How about the time you were a scout with Custer at the Little Bighorn?
The way I heard it, Custer and all his men were massacred by the Sioux.
Adam tells it different. He was the only one to escape.
I'm the only man alive that knows what really happened there.
Sounds to me like you're a liar.
Go ahead and have your fun. I know something you fellas don't know nothing about. It just happens I was in that livery stable last night. Now, what do you think about that, huh?
Sounds interesting, Adam. Do you see anything?
Saw that fella Baines get killed, that's all.
Are you telling the truth, or is this just another one of your stories?
I was right there, bigger than life.
Did you recognize who done the killing?
Never mind the details. You can tell me later down at my office. Let's go.
Well, I just can't walk out and leave my job, Sheriff.
Now, don't worry. You're not going to get fired. You may even get a promotion if you can identify the killer.
Well, there's no hurry. I'll be over and see you later.
Now.
And this fella pulled out a gun and shot Baines. That's all there was to it.
Did you get a look at the killer's face?
It was kind of dark. He had his back to me.
Well, that doesn't help much. We don't know any more now than we did before.
There must be something about the man you can remember, Adam.
The way he was dressed, maybe. His hat. What about his boots? Wasn't there anything at all unusual about him?
No, he was dressed like everybody. Maybe if I heard him talk again, I might be able to recognize his voice.
What was that like?
Kind of deep and husky, like he had a cold. Now, if you're through with me, Sheriff, I'd like to go back to my job.
Adam. By now, everybody in town knows that you saw that killing.
So?
So suppose the killer's still in town. And suppose he thinks you can identify him. What do you think he's going to do?
Why, I don't know. I hadn't given it much thought.
You better. You've put yourself in a dangerous position.
Yeah, I sure have.
What are you going to do, Clay?
Well, we're going to make a tour of Tombstone, looking for a man with a husky voice.
All of Tombstone?
We'll start with the saloons. It's where most of our citizens go to cure a cold. Let's go, Adam.
Oh, that's asking for trouble. No, I'm not going.
Yes, you are. I need you for identification, and you may find you need me.
And if we run across this fella?
You just let me worry about that. Come on.
Over there. That looks like him. At least from the back it does.
All right. Excuse me, mister. Mind if I ask you a few questions?
All depends on what they are. What's troubling you, Sheriff?
Adam?
No, I made a mistake. A big one. When I opened my big mouth.
Sorry to trouble you, mister.
We've been up and down every street and in and out of every hotel and saloon in Tombstone.
Well, at least we met a lot of nice people we've never known before.
Maybe the killer left town.
Could be. Frankly, I can't think of any other place to look.
As always, Charleston.
Charleston.
It's only a couple of hours' ride from here.
If I remember correctly, that community doesn't take too easily to the law, especially the sheriff of Tombstone.
Now, listen. Oh, just a minute, fellas. As far as... Did you see anyone?
Not a sign. At least we won't have to go to Charleston.
Let's get off the streets, huh?
Whoever shot at you is gone now, Adam.
Yeah, but do you think they'll come back? Later, I mean?
They might.
You're gonna stay with me, aren't you?
No. No, you're going to stay with me. I'm placing you in protective custody.
You're locking me up.
That's right.
Well, it's the first time I've ever been put in jail for something I didn't do.
That's a lot better than walking around waiting for somebody to take another shot at you, Adam.
Yeah, but what about my job at the Alhambra? If I don't show up, they'll fire me.
Yeah. All right, you can go on working, but there'll be somebody with you at all times.
Well, I don't like the idea of living in jail.
Would you rather take up residence on Boot Hill?
Well, there's nothing so wrong with jails. As long as they're warm and unlocked and the food's on the county. Let's go.
August 6, 1882. A hidden gunman had made an attempt on the life of Adam Kirby, Clay Hollister's only witness to an unsolved murder. And to date, the killer's identity was still unknown. Morning, Clay.
Harris?
Say, how's your witness?
Oh, boy, he is really living high at the county's expense. And at mine, I might add. In the past 2 days, he has taken up soap, T-bone steaks, and borrowed $6 from me.
Line of duty, lawman.
Oh, boy. At least Adam's enjoying it. He's the main attraction in there.
Well, you can't blame him. Not really. It's probably the first time anyone's paid attention to him in years.
And he's taken full advantage of it.
How long do you plan to keep him in custody?
Just till he's safe.
Well, how do you know the killer's still here? He might be in New Mexico by now.
Or right across the street.
Where are you headed for?
Gotta go relieve my deputy. He's wet nursing Adam.
Well, let me know if there's any change.
Yeah.
Nurse.
Everything all right? Well, it is as far as Kirby's concerned, yeah.
I'll take over.
Well, Sheriff Hollister, I want you to meet some friends of mine. Ed Sims, Charlie Howe, Hugh Dawson. We're just having a drink. Come on, won't you join us?
No, thanks. I think we better get back to the office.
What's the hurry? Nothing's gonna happen to me.
That's what I've been saying. Baines's killer was around, he'd have taken another shot at Adam here before now.
Maybe.
Stop worrying, will you, Hollister?
Adam's not scared.
Of course I'm not scared. Did I ever tell you about the time I was afoot in Indian country? I had my horse shot out right from underneath me.
Some other time, Adam.
Sheriff, why don't you leave him here with us? We'll see to it nothing happens to him.
Yeah, take care of me, Sheriff. Well, I'll see you later, fellas.
I got a horse for you from the livery stable.
Oh, are we going somewhere?
Yeah, Charleston.
Well, why Charleston?
Just too quiet around Tombstone.
Well, can't we go there tomorrow? This being in protective custody ain't as much fun as I thought it was gonna be. Kind of quiet here, too.
Yeah, so's a rattlesnake before he strikes.
I'll have another.
What's the matter?
Oh, nothing. Nothing at all.
Come on.
Afternoon, Sheriff. You look a little nervous, mister. How about a drink?
No, thanks. I'm not thirsty.
You've been thirsty all your life.
I'm not thirsty now.
How about it, Adam? This man anybody you recognize?
I never saw him in my life before.
You're sure you never heard his voice?
He's not the man we're looking for, Sheriff.
You sure? Looks like I'm wasting my time.
Oh, it's been a long day, Sheriff. I'm tired. I'm going to bed. I'll see you in the morning. Good night.
Good idea. Maybe you can get yourself a room over at the hotel. Or you can go back to the straw. You see, it looks like you're right. Killer's left town, so I'm turning you loose.
Well, you can't do that. It's your duty to protect me.
Seems to me I've done my duty. Not quite sure that you have.
I don't know what you mean.
I think you do. Oh, you better take that. You'll need it.
Hello, Adam. Come on in. Have a drink with us.
No, some other time.
Oh, it's no time like now. Come on in. Hey, you look kind of low. Is something we can do?
No. No, thanks. Nothing, no.
Well, that's the first time I've ever seen you carrying a gun, Adam.
It's not my idea. The sheriff loaned it to me. He said I'd need it to protect myself.
Thought Hollister and his deputies are looking after you.
Not anymore, they ain't. They turned me loose. Not he cares if I get killed.
You stop worrying about it. Nothing's going to happen to you. That's so, Hal?
You stick with us, Adam.
You know, I think I will have a drink with you fellas.
Now you're talking.
Thanks.
Hey, we'll have us a real celebration. We'll make this a night like you never had before.
Now, huh? Hey, what are you leaving for? We're having a good time. Where are you guys going?
You leave it to us. Celebrating's just starting.
Oh! What, we're gonna have a party? Oh, good, let's go, huh? Hey, have you boys, listen, I've been around this town a long time. You see
I don't like this place. Let's go someplace else.
What are you worried about? We're with you, are we?
I'm not worried. It's just I don't like it. I've been there before, that's all.
Get off. Get off. Get off.
Well, listen. Well, listen.
There you go. There you go. Dancing now, boy. Dancing now.
I'll get us a bottle.
Time in my life.
The best part of the party hasn't started yet. It sure hasn't.
Told you this would be a night like you never had before.
I hate to break up this friendly gathering, Mr. Kirby, but we have some unfinished business. Killing you now suits me just as well as later. Go ahead.
Hello, Adam.
Sheriff, you gonna stay around a while?
No, I just dropped in for a minute. I gotta get back to town.
Well, I think I'll go with him.
No, you stay with your friends. Unless, of course, you've got something to tell me. There's one thing, Adam. You stand up for yourself now, I'll be right here.
There's the man you're looking for, Sheriff.
You all right?
Yeah, I'm all right. I got a real story to tell him now. So I said, Clay, there's the man who murdered Baines. Go on and arrest him, and I'll back you up with my gun. Well, the sheriff's a cautious man. He said, Adam, are you sure that's the man? I said, I'll prove it to you, Sheriff. So I walked right up to this Wallach and I spoke up. And I said, you're a dirty murderer.
And then what happened?
Well, he just stood there. But I knew he was going to go for his gun.
Go on, Adam.
Well, stop interrupting me, will you? You confuse me with the facts. Where was I?
Wallach was just going for his gun.
Oh, yeah. Well, there was a silence. Oh, about 5 seconds. And Wallach started to draw. Well, I pulled my gun and
Go on, Adam. Don't let me interrupt you.
I was just telling him about the fight, Sheriff.
According to Adam here, why, he practically took care of Wallach and that bunch all by himself. Is that true?
Yeah, that's just how it happened. Go on, Adam. Tell your story.
Well, like I said, I pulled my gun just a split second before the sheriff. And just as cool as you please.
Whistle me up a memory, whistle me back where I wanna be, whistle a tune that'll carry me to Tombstone territory. If your past has run foul of the law, it's a handy place to be. 'Cause your future's just as good as your draw in Tombstone territory. Whistle me up a memory, whistle me back where I wanna be, to Tombstone territory.
Now, baby, will you stop worrying? There's nothing to be afraid of.
Are you sure, Frank? I can't help being scared.
Have I ever lied to you?
My lawyer's working on an appeal right now. He'll take it direct to the territorial governor. He feels there's a very good chance he can get a reduction of your sentence.
Perhaps even a pardon.
But what if he can't?
At the very worst, you'll have to serve 18 months. Baby, I said at the very worst.
Whether it's 18 days or 18 months, I'll be working for you all the way.
That's a promise, Renee.
You're right to me.
Sure.
Time's up, Fallon.
What's the hurry, Sheriff?
You asked for 5 minutes, you've had it. The sooner she gets to Yuma, the sooner her time starts. And maybe she'll find out what kind of a deal you roped her into.
You're pretty free with your mouth, aren't you?
You know you're the one I should be taking to Yuma.
Suspect what you like, Sheriff. Proving it, that is something else.
We'll see. Out.
I'll be working for you, day and night.
I'll be working, too. Like you said, proving it is the important part. You better get some rest. We'll be leaving in half an hour.
An actual account from the pages of my newspaper, the Tombstone Epitaph. This is the way it happened. In the town too tough to die. Tombstone territory. Renee Carter had been tried and found guilty of armed robbery and assault in a recent Tombstone holdup. Sheriff Clay Hollister was preparing to deliver her to the territorial prison at Yuma, where she had been ordered to serve a sentence of 18 months for committing the crime.
Oh, Harris.
Expecting trouble?
I hope not.
How's she taking it?
Yeah, she still expects Fallon to get her sentence reduced or commuted.
And they'll live happily ever after, huh?
Yeah, something like that. Clay?
Yeah? I know how you feel about Fallon, and I agree he's no good, but...
But what?
Well, it is possible he had nothing to do with robbing and slugging Rogers. Maybe the girl's story is true. She did it by herself.
Harris, what did Doc Cunningham say about Rogers' injuries?
Just that he was hit with something heavy.
Hard enough to fracture his skull. Not one blow, but 4. Lacerations on his scalp prove that.
What's your point?
I've known some pretty hardcore women in my time. I just don't think that Renee Carter's one of them.
Well, her purse was found practically under his body.
That proves that she was there, but not that she did the beating.
Well, if she didn't, she's crazy to stick with that story. Rogers is still in critical condition. Doc Cunningham gives him less than a 50-50 chance. If Rogers dies...
I know. The charge against her would be murder.
What are we waiting for?
Nothing at all. See you at the end of the week. Right. Fresno. Whoop.
Right? I guess you ain't very sentimental. Just rode by the law coming into town. Looked like they were taking your girlfriend to Yuma prison.
Couldn't be. My girlfriend's right here. Pour us a drink, will you, honey?
Boy, you sure are something, Frank.
That's right. Don't you ever forget it.
I don't know about you, but I'm getting a little bit hungry. Well, come on. A little food will do you some good. You can rest inside out of the sun.
How far are we going today?
Pantano. Spend the night there, get an early start in the morning.
Will I have to stay in the jail there overnight?
I'm afraid the county doesn't provide funds for hotel rooms, even for female prisoners.
Sheriff? Is Yuma very bad?
It's a prison, Miss Carter. 2 years can seem like an awful long time in a place like Yuma.
Frank will get me out.
Maybe. Must be quite a man, this Frank fella.
And what is that supposed to mean?
Oh, nothing in particular. Just thinking out loud. Wondering, you might say.
About what?
About what Fallon must have offered you to get you to risk being hanged.
Hanged?
Sure. Rogers dies, it's murder.
He isn't going to die.
He's still in a coma. He may never recover consciousness. About time we got going.
Sheriff,
Yes, ma'am?
if that man, Rogers, if he does die,
You'll be brought back to Tombstone to stand trial for murder.
he wouldn't.
Yes, they would. And Fallon will let you take that rap, too. Yeah, he's quite a man.
You don't give up, do you, Sheriff?
Nope.
Oh, Clay, how are you?
Dave?
Is this your prisoner?
Yeah, Renee Carter.
Well, I'll be.
Would you lock me up now, Marshal? I'm tired. I'd like to be alone.
Oh, yes, ma'am. It's a pleasure, ma'am. I mean, right this way, miss. We don't get many women here, miss. If you need anything, miss, just holler.
She will. Some blankets draped around the bars.
Hmm?
Give the lady some privacy.
Oh, sure.
Dave. Huh? The door.
There you are, gentlemen. Read 'em and weep.
Tough luck, fellas.
You brought me luck, baby.
From the looks of that stack, Fallon, there must be some truth to the old adage about gamblers.
What are you talking about?
Lucky at cards, unlucky in love.
Your eyes must be going bad, Clyburn.
I've just come from the telegraph office.
Some other time, newsman. How about some blackjack?
Judge Leary sent a telegraph order to the sheriff. The order was for Hollister to bring Renee Carter back to Tombstone.
Bring her back?
To stand trial for murder.
Rogers
died this afternoon. I thought you would like to know.
It's got nothing to do with me.
I was under the impression Renee Carter was a friend of yours.
When it comes to murder, Clyburn, I've got no friends. Male or female.
Too bad. She's gonna need a friend. Maybe when she finds out she hasn't got one, she'll change her mind.
About what, Editor?
About a lot of things. Ought to be a very interesting trial. Good evening, gentlemen.
Not now, not now.
I don't like it, Fallon.
She isn't back yet.
Carter,
I'm ready.
take your time. You're going to be here for a while.
Why?
I got a couple of wires. One last night and one this morning. The first was from Judge Leary ordering you back to Tombstone. Rogers died yesterday.
Oh, no.
The second was from a friend of mine. It seems that Fallon and Blake left Tombstone this morning, headed in this direction.
Frank's coming to help me. Maybe the governor has approved my appeal.
There hasn't been time for that. Fallon isn't coming to help you. He's going to try to kill you.
July 8, 1889. The road to Pantano, Arizona Territory.
I spotted a dozen good places, Frank. We keep going, we'll be clear to Pantano.
I know what I'm doing. There's a spot about 10 miles this side of Pantano. Road cuts off in the hills. A lot of big boulders.
All right, you're the boss.
Well, it took some doing, but I got it. Yeah, that ought to do just fine. I'd like to borrow your hat and cape for a few hours.
What for?
It's a little plan I've got to prove to you how much Fallon really thinks of you.
What do you mean?
You think he's going to save you. I think he's going to kill you.
Still trying, Sheriff.
You ought to be glad he is, miss.
You see, I figure if I can prove to you that Fallon is using you to save his neck, you might tell the truth about the robbery.
I told the truth.
I don't think so.
If Frank tries to free me, that doesn't mean that he has anything to do with...
And if he tries to kill you?
All right, Sheriff. But you're wasting your time.
What time is it?
20 past 1.
You think maybe Hollister knows we're waiting?
Not unless he's a fortune teller. All right, get down the road. We'll hit him from 2 angles.
Right. Remember, I ain't shooting at the girl, just the sheriff.
All right, so go on.
Up, Rowdy. Convinced?
Not exactly. After all, you
Could have done it myself? Is that what you were going to say? Dave Short is taking Blake's body over to the Undertaker right now. Would you like to see it?
No.
Do you think I arranged that too? Blake and Fallon put those holes in your cape and nobody else.
Is Frank?
No, he's all right. He's probably halfway back to Tombstone by now. With you dead, he's got nothing to worry about.
I want to see Frank, Sheriff. Let's get started back for Tombstone.
What for? So he can lie to you again? So he can ruin your life to save his own? What does it take to convince you? Look, Renee, we know that Ed Rogers was having a winning streak at Frank's table. Won almost $1,000. So Frank told you to get the old man alone, that he wanted to talk to him, didn't he? Fallon and Blake did the beating, didn't they?
I want to see Frank.
All right. All right. Right now, Fallon thinks you're dead. We're going to give him a surprise he'll never forget. Get your things together. We're going back to Tombstone as soon as I can send a wire.
Been somewhere, Fallon?
What's it to you?
Nothing. Nothing at all. Just wondered if you'd heard the news.
Why don't you go peddle your papers?
Too bad about Renee Carter. But I guess it's all for the best.
How was that?
She's dead. The wire came a couple of hours ago from Pantano. Seems it was your friend Blake who was mixed up in the Rogers killing. He heard Sheriff Clay Hollister was bringing her back here to stand trial. He must have decided to shut her up for good.
Well, newsman, what do you know? The ladies are thirsty, so keep it coming. Yes, sir, Frank Fallon knows how to treat his friends. I've got one simple little rule. My friends treat me right, I treat them right. I always say, you treat people right, and they're your friends. Frank Fallon hasn't got an enemy in the world. No, sir.
You've got one, Fallon. And that one's gonna hang you.
I'm getting fed up with you, Hollister.
Oh, I haven't even started on you yet.
You got
You're
no
under arrest.
Arrest?
For the murder of Ed Rogers.
Renee Carter murdered Rogers, and you know it.
Why did you offer to help her? How about that appeal to the governor?
What appeal? Why don't you check for yourself and see, Hollister? There's nothing like that there. Not that my lawyer knows about.
Oh? Harris.
How did you...
How did she what, Fallon? Come back to life after you killed her?
A trick. A lousy trick.
Mm-hmm. And you fell for it. You thought you'd killed the only person who could convict you of murder.
And I will, Frank. I'll help them put that rope around your neck. It was just like you thought, Sheriff. Exactly. Only after I got Ed Rogers alone, and Frank and Blake started beating him, I fainted. When I woke up, Frank was carrying me to my room. I'd lost my purse. Or someone took it.
Oh, baby, baby, you're not going to listen to the things this man's been telling you. Look, honey, this is Frank. Why, I'd do anything for you. You know that.
Then hang for me.
Let's go, Fallon.
No. No?
Hard or easy. Any way you want it.
Oh, I could kill you, baby.
Clay?
What did Leary say?
He's all for it. So's the town council.
Let's go tell her. Renee.
Is something wrong?
No, ma'am, something's right. Judge Leary has agreed to review your case.
Practically insisted.
But why?
Justice isn't really blind, Miss Carter. Your only crime was in covering up for Fallon.
You see, you helped the law, so now the law's trying to help you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Whistle me up a memory, whistle me back where I wanna be, whistle a tune that'll carry me to Tombstone territory. If your past has run afoul of the law, it's a handy place to be, 'cause your future's just as good as your draw in Tombstone territory. Whistle me up a memory, whistle me back where I wanna be, to Tombstone territory.
Had become almost commonplace in the West. Men were shot down, robberies committed, and bands of marauders and renegades roamed the small frontier towns, looting, burning, and plundering. And when the bandits were captured, they were often turned loose because witnesses feared to come forward. This made the lawman's job, the job of keeping law and order in the community, almost impossible. Tombstone, Arizona Territory, October 20, 1880, early morning.
My leg, help me. Help me. I can't make it. My leg.
Help him. I'd be glad to help him.
Chalky! Chalky! You murdered my brother. You dirty, filthy...
What happened? Well? Didn't anybody see anything?
This one's still alive, Clay.
Barney Dager. And brother Chalky. This is really going to be rough on their sister. Give me a hand.
An actual account from the pages of my newspaper, the Tombstone Epitaph. This is the way it happened, in the town too tough to die. Tombstone Territory. Clay Hollister, sheriff of Tombstone, had gone in pursuit of the gang that had robbed the saloon, killed the owner, and left two of their own members behind, one dead and one dying. The gang had vanished, and the witnesses to the crime refused to come forward to identify the killers. Later the same day, mid-morning, October 20.
Whoa! I'm Sherry Dager. My brothers, where are they?
Chalky's dead. Barney's in the cell in the back. Doc Cunningham's with him right now. Wait here. I'll see if it's all right. Is he well enough to see his sister? Miss Dagger?
Barney.
How is he, Doc?
Bad. He's ready to be a undertaker's guest now.
Will you do me a favor?
Anything you say, Clay.
Keep Chalky's condition under your hat.
Be careful it doesn't explode in your face. I don't know what you got planned, but don't count on Barney. He won't be around that long. I'm sorry I had to hear that, Miss Dagger. Real sorry.
I'm sorry, too. If there's anything I can do to make it easier for you.
You can let me take him home where he belongs. I don't want him to die in jail.
Barney's a member of a gang who robbed and killed the saloon keeper this morning.
And he's paying for it with his life. First Chalky and now Barney. Let me take him home, please.
I'm sorry, Miss Dagger. I can't do that.
Why? What difference does it make if he dies here or at home?
Might make a lot of difference.
To who? You?
Yes, to me. And to you, and maybe the whole rest of the town.
I don't care about the rest of the town. I only care about Barney.
Yeah, I know. That's the problem. Nobody around here cares about anybody else. And people get shot down in the street every day because of that. Well, maybe Barney can help me put an end to it.
Barney?
He owes something to the territory. Let him pay his debt.
He's dying. You talk like this?
When a man helps to commit murder and robbery, it makes him a criminal. It's my business to understand that. It's your business, too.
Barney's not a criminal. He's young. So is Chalky. They made their mistakes, but they didn't mean anything. They would have straightened out.
Yeah? Well, tell that to the saloon keeper.
He was a gambler. He was as bad as the others. A man who took advantage of drunks and fools.
But he was a man with as much right to live as anybody else. Barney and Chalky helped to take that right away from him. Look, Miss Dagger, you can't excuse some people and not others. If you do, the law becomes meaningless.
If it treats everybody the same, it is meaningless. And if you think that way, too, you're meaningless. You're just an empty shell of a man standing on a mountaintop. Oh, I hope it gets lonely there.
You ever stand all alone on a mountaintop, Quint?
Sometimes that's the only place where a man can think. Yeah, I've been there.
I think I'll go over to the epitaph and see Harris. Keep an eye on things, will you? Keep everybody away from him.
Including his sister?
She isn't everybody. Fastest issue of the epitaph I ever got out. Thanks to you, I don't get to sell a single copy. Just so long as the story sells. And I think our buyer just got here. Who is he? I think he's a member of the gang. If he is, he'll be a direct line to the others.
You planning on following him? I mean, going after them?
Oh, Harris, I haven't got any proof. Besides, after that article, I think they'll be looking for me and Barney. And I'd rather have them here than me there.
Yeah. Judging from the looks of him, I don't blame you.
I think you sold your story.
You and your fancy knife throwing. Maybe you need a little more practice.
I hit what I aim for.
Yeah? Barney's recovering. He's going to identify us. It's all over the front page of the paper. Never leave a wounded man behind to testify, he says. Too bad you didn't use the knife on Barney, too. Go ahead.
No. When the odds change, I stop playing. Now, let's talk about Barney Dager and his sister Sherry.
Killing a woman is where I draw the line.
Killing? Who said anything about killing? There's some people who are far more useful alive. Miss Dager's one of them. And this editor fellow might very well be another. I'm quite sure he's a pillar of Tombstone society.
You touch the editor and you're a dead man. Hollister will come after you.
Exactly, but he'll have Barney with him. Now, if the editor means so much to Hollister and to the town, I'm quite sure they'd be very glad to exchange Barney for him.
Yeah, well, how are we going to get the editor to come here?
We'll persuade him one way or the other. And then we have to pay a little visit to Miss Dager. She has to persuade Hollister to exchange Barney for the editor, or we kill the editor. Of course, unfortunately for him, he'll be dead as soon as it's all over. But then, so will Barney. Then there'll be nobody left who will dare offer to testify against Turk Padella again.
Yeah. Mr. Cliven?
Yeah?
Now listen carefully. There's a gun trained on you across the street. Take your time. Turn around slow. And look up toward the roof of that building. There's two more besides that one on the street. Mine, and another one near Dunbar Stable.
What do you want?
He'll be covered all the way. Go to Dunbar's, pick up your horse, and ride out of town. Past Fremont first, and wait. And don't look for help from your friend Hollister. We waited for him to make his afternoon rounds. He's on the other side of town.
And you came to my ranch to tell me that?
I thought it was easier than having you visit me where you might be followed.
And if I don't persuade Clay Hollister to make the exchange?
Then Barney will probably die. Oh, no, I won't kill him. I like Barney. He's a good man. But if he stays in jail, state's witness or not, he'll undoubtedly swing for the murder of the saloon keeper.
I don't believe you.
That's your privilege. There's one other thing. If the exchange isn't effected within 24 hours, your esteemed editor is going to be dead. Let's see what he has to say about that.
Don't do it. He's lying. They'll kill me anyway.
Now, I presume that you'll talk to Hollister?
October 20, 1885. A long day. And today, Sheriff Clay Hollister and the citizens of Tombstone would never forget.
He isn't anywhere in town, Clay. I've looked everywhere. If you were going somewhere, he would have told somebody. Left somebody in charge of the office. He usually does. Where you going? Over to Dunbar's. If he was going to leave town, he had to go by horse or buggy. Maybe they know something about it.
I've got to talk to you.
I'd go ahead, talk.
Not here. Oh, please, Sheriff. It's about Barney and the editor.
All right. You said you wanted to talk about Barney and the editor?
They're holding the editor hostage.
Who? Who's holding him?
The men in the gang that Barney and Chalky belong to.
Where are they now?
I don't know. They came to my ranch. They had Mr. Claiborne with them. They said that if you didn't exchange him with Barney, they'd kill the editor.
What, is that all they said?
No. They said that if Barney stayed in jail, he'd hang for the murder of the saloon keeper.
Is that why you've come here?
I saw what they did to the editor. They beat him, but he's still alive, and I think he will be until they're through with him. I remembered what you said this morning about nobody caring about anyone else. And I suddenly realized you were right. I was wrong. Barney and Chalky were wrong. And now an innocent man is suffering because of it.
And that's why you came here?
Yes.
All right. You tell him I'll make the exchange, but on my terms. I'll have Barney at Chalky's funeral at Boot Hill Cemetery tomorrow. Tell him to have the editor there. That's where I'll make the exchange. Now I think you better see Barney.
Boot Hill, huh? Yeah, we'll be there with the editor. You know, he almost came back last night to see you, but decided against it. My friends are afraid of ghosts in the dark. We decided it'd be better in the daylight where we can see as well as being seen. And for once, I'm very glad I agreed with them. You look much better dressed like that. Softer and sleepy. I like it.
Thank you.
I shall be seeing you again.
I'll be looking forward to it. This morning. Boot Hill.
That's right. I'll be there. We'll all be there. At poor Chalky's funeral. Good day, ma'am.
Hardly seems right somehow. Going to a funeral to pay your respects to the dead, wearing guns. Well, those guns keep a lot of people from paying their respects to you. I guess that's about it. You ready? Yep. Let's go.
It's a trek. Barney ain't with him. Where'd you expect him to be? Dancing a jig in the streets? It's his brother's funeral. Barney's where he should be, in the buggy with his sister. Untie his hands. Take the gag out. We wouldn't want Hollister to think we've been mistreating his friends, would we?
Wait here.
I don't see Barney.
He's here, just like I promised you.
In the buggy?
No, in the hearse. Barney's dead. Harris!
Broken. Too bad. Clear. Havana tobacco. Rolled especially for me.
You could have lied to me yesterday about Barney. I'm glad you didn't. I'm glad you told me then that Barney was dead. It helped make today a lot easier. Thank you.
No, thank you. In a town just full of people depending on other people, you were the only one who offered to help. That might make it easier from now on. You know, I'm going to be thinking about you. That might make me feel a little bit less like that man standing alone on his mountaintop. Well, you sure got your faith in human nature restored fast. Stick around. A couple of years, you may be old enough to understand.
up a memory. Whistle me back where I wanna be. Whistle a tune that'll carry me to Tombstone territory. If your past has run afoul of the law, it's a handy place to be. 'Cause your future's just as good as your draw in Tombstone territory. Whistle me up a memory. Whistle me back where I wanna be, to Tombstone territory.
Oh, Harris. I was going to ask you to ride out with me, but, I see you're busy.
Just doing the rounds. Ride out where?
Going out to meet Sam Barrett. Thought I'd ride in with him.
Sam Barrett?
The newspaper man. Finest in the West.
Oh, I thought you were, Harris.
I've been writing about him for a week. Don't you read my...
You go on ahead. I'm going to stay around here. I got some things to do.
Sure. I'll see you later.
Oh, when I get settled in, I'd like to meet him.
Welcome to Tombstone, Sam. An actual account from the pages of my newspaper, the Tombstone Epitaph. This is the way it happened, in the town too tough to die. Tombstone territory. Sam Barrett, a newspaperman from Denver, had been welcomed to Tombstone by a committee of one. A gunman who had shot and killed him on the road a few miles out of town. Pete! Barrett.
Where'd you find him?
Outside of town a few miles. I saw it, Clay.
You saw who killed him?
Vic Reel.
The man who works for Douglas Jason. Pete, get our horses. You and I are going to ride out to Jason's place.
Where have you been? Don't talk to me like a 2-year-old, Jason. Talk? I'll kill you if you do it again. Where have you been? I've been out, riding around. Where have you been riding? Denver. I rode to Denver and I told the marshal that the Taylor gang's in Tombstone. I told him all that money from those train robberies is buried right here on the ranch. I told him because I want to hang. Get back to the barn and go to work. Wait a minute. What's Jess doing coming back here? How do I know?
The man Amboy's riding into town. That newspaper editor saw the whole thing. He was there.
Nobody was there. He's lying. You did it. You got the law on us.
You made 4 years count for nothing.
Get down off that horse, Jess. Get down! Get down, Jess. Come on, get inside. Move. So now I've got me some orders to give Jason. You too, Jesse, and that goes for the rest of the boys.
You better give them fast, Vic. That sheriff is going to come riding in here any minute now.
And you're going to take care of him for me.
I am?
Yeah, you are. Just like my brother took care of you. He sat in that jail, and he waited, and he hanged, and he didn't talk.
Your brother didn't take any chance that I didn't, or that you or Jess here didn't.
Well, like I said, he didn't talk, and he could have.
We would have helped him, if we could have.
We didn't hang him, Vic. I know you didn't. Sam Barrett did. Sam Barrett, the Denver newspaper man. You remember him, don't you? Ah, he did some fine, fancy preaching in that newspaper of his, didn't he? Ben's life or innocent lives lost in a Taylor gang robberies. In case you forgot, the people listening to him, and they hanged Ben.
So you had to kill Sam Barrett. No matter what it cost us. All of us.
It wasn't supposed to cost nothing, Jason. I didn't plan on nobody seeing it happen.
They're here now, the sheriff and the deputy.
Now, you listen to me close, Jason. You too, Jesse. You get that newspaper man, you hear? Ain't gonna be no proof without no witness. I'm gonna go with the sheriff for 2 days. 2 days. And then I start talking. I tell all I know about the Taylor gang.
None of us could afford that. Put the gun away. You'll be out before 2 days.
Mr. Jason?
Sheriff Hollister.
I want to talk to your man here.
To Vic?
To Vic. You're under arrest. The charge is murder. Sam Barrett.
Well, you must be joking, Sheriff.
Barrett was ambushed on his way into town. There was a witness. He saw you.
Now, wait a minute. Who's Sam Barrett?
Just a man. Let's go.
Sheriff, Vic has worked for me ever since I've been in the territory. He's a good man. You're wrong.
We'll find out at the trial. Now, Mr. Jason, I don't know you very well, but I probably will before this is over. You can be very helpful if you want to.
I don't like it, Jason.
Oh, we'll get him out, Jess. We'll get him out, as you'll wish he were back in. Vic Real is a dead man, any way you look at it.
You're gonna hang, Real.
For what?
I don't know why you did it, but you'll hang.
You're out of your mind, newsman. You're trying to sell a few papers. You better look for something else. Hey, you dirty! Tell him to get his hands off me, Hollister. Tell him!
Pete.
Your aim's still good.
Huh?
I asked whether your aim was still good.
Yeah, that's still good.
All right. And get that newsman. We have to do as our friend Vic says.
But why me? Why not Red or...
Because I said you.
So it started all over again, huh? I don't like it. 4 years now and no trouble. And now it's starting all over again.
This is the last. So your aim is still good, huh?
When, Jason?
Tonight.
I know it seems meaningless, Harris, but everything has to have a reason.
Then what is it? There was no robbery committed, and Sam Barrett didn't have any enemies. At least not out here.
There was a motive. There had to be. This wasn't just a thrill killing. If Reel had wanted that, he would have found something in Tombstone. He didn't need Barrett for that.
Then why Sam?
I don't know. But I'm going to find out.
Anything I can do to help, Clay?
No, you just get your paper out. Something will show up. For all these telegrams we've sent out, something's got to happen.
We could use a little luck.
Yeah, that's generally what we get. A very little.
March 8, 1886, early morning. Douglas Jason's plan of murder had failed. Vic Reel was still lodged in the Tombstone jail, and Clay Hollister was taking every precaution to see that he remained there until he stood trial for the killing of Sam Barrett.
Jason has 3 or 4 other men beside Reel. You know anything about them?
Yeah, but no more than you do, only by sight.
Well, that does it. All the flyers over 4 years old. Nothing there.
Why all the sudden interest in Doug Jason and his men?
Reel has no other associations in Tombstone except them. Now, he kills a man. And somebody takes a pot shot at the only witness who can identify him as a murderer. He's important to somebody. When I find out more about his past, I'll know who.
You think Jason could be involved?
Well, anything is possible. What do we know about him?
Not very much. Came to Tombstone 4 years ago, before either one of us did.
And nobody from town has ever been out to his ranch. All the men he hired are supposedly from different parts of the country, and they never come into town, so we don't know anything about them.
Yeah. Well, I've wired every news source I have.
Yeah, and all my official ones. You know, Harris, this is something more than just a senseless murder.
How's the shoulder?
Gonna live, Pete. Thanks.
No replies at the telegraph office yet.
Old Jake's been doing more sending than he did when the governor was here.
He wants to know when you sleep.
Don't remind me.
You know, Axe's food hasn't gotten a bit better.
Boy, you sure are hard to please. You should feel yourself lucky that you're here to eat it at all. Listen to me. I got an idea.
What's that, Clay?
I got a hunch I know who's behind this. And I think I can force him to make a move. One last time, Reel. Why'd you kill Barrett? You answer, you're gonna save a lot of bloodshed.
You don't make good sense, Sheriff.
Look, boy, it's all over for you. You're gonna stand trial tomorrow, and you'll take what punishment the judge and jury decide is right for you. But you got a chance to do a decent thing. Maybe even save a life.
You get out of here, Sheriff. I don't have to talk to you about nothing. You think you get it all figured out, haven't you? Well, then you're gonna be surprised.
You're the one who's going to be surprised. I have got it figured out.
Vic Reel had refused to talk, and Clay Hollister, in an effort to uncover the motive behind the killing of Sam Barrett, decided on a plan of action. Douglas Jason was to be the starting point.
It's a fine-looking cattle, Jason. Ought to bring a good price. Must be money in ranching. I decided I'm going to get myself one.
Why not? You figuring on grabbing your share and leaving?
Yep.
Well, it's time for it. Where are you heading?
Mexico.
There's just one more thing to be done. Vic. You'll be out soon. Why don't you take him with you? Long, hard ride to Mexico? Anything could happen on the way.
No.
What do you mean, no?
I took care of that newspaper man. That's it. That was the last. I got money now. I'm like you. I'm gonna live right.
After you take care of Vic. Nobody else leaves the ranch, not yet. Nothing unusual is gonna happen. Everything stays just the same.
What do I get out of it?
What we all get. No more trouble. A ranch in Mexico.
All right. But I swear this is the last. What does he want?
Who?
The sheriff.
Back to work.
Mr. Jason.
Oh, Sheriff.
One of your men told me you were out here in the barn.
What can I do for you?
Reel's trial starts tomorrow. We have a lot of questions we'd like to ask you. I told you could be very helpful.
Tomorrow?
Yes, the circuit judge rides in the morning, and Reel will be the first order of business. You see, somebody's trying to stop this trial before it gets started. So I figure the sooner the better.
Well, who's trying to stop it?
I don't know. But somebody took a pot shot at my witness last night. Luckily, he wasn't killed.
Well, I'm afraid I can't help you, Sheriff. Vic has only worked for me a couple of years.
4. 4 years.
Yes, about. I mind my own business. I don't know much about Vic, but what he does is really his own affair.
Well, be at the trial anyway, 11 o'clock.
Oh, I'll be there. I don't like trouble, Sheriff.
Neither do I. So there's not going to be any. I have my witness in protective custody, and I'm riding out this afternoon to see the judge safely into town. See you tomorrow.
I asked Red to round you up fast for a reason. The Taylor gang has one last job to do.
Wait a minute, Jason. You never told us that.
Shut up and listen, Red.
The man who saw Reel kill Sam Barrett is still alive. He was only wounded. Sheriff has him in jail in protective custody.
Then let Jess go back and do it right. Why should we stick our necks out?
Shut up and listen. Reel goes on trial tomorrow. Sheriff is riding out to meet the judge this afternoon. He won't be back till tomorrow morning. You all know what'll happen if that trial ever gets started. Because once they start asking questions, they'll never stop.
Then let's clear out now.
Let's split the money and go.
No. They'd know then for sure. They got us all identified. There'd be no more hiding out. We gotta do it, Red.
Do what?
Well, keep your mouth shut and listen, I'll tell you. We get the witness and Vic and anybody else in that jail that can identify us.
They'll know we did it.
How? They'll have nothing to go on, Red. This is going to be very good, like a citizens committee, all worked up by this newsman's editorials. The citizens will simply be taking justice into their own hands. The editor will get killed accidentally. I don't want a lot of stuff in the newspapers every day about why did this happen and who's behind it.
Who takes care of Vic?
We all do.
How?
We hang him. Right in his own cell. Just as a good citizens committee would do.
We're all set here. How about it? You still think it'll work?
Oh, I sure hope so. Pete?
Yeah?
Come on in here a minute, will you? Harris, I'll bet my last dollar that Barrett's killing is going to uncover something real big.
Yeah, Clay.
I want to go over this just one more time. Now remember, the main thing is for you not to make a move until I do.
Dawn, March 9, 1886.
Jason! Tell your men to drop their guns. You're surrounded. I've got you in a crossfire.
Drop your pistol.
captures Taylor gang.
Couldn't be much bigger, could it?
Now watch. Say, how's her shoulder?
Oh, fine. You know, the Taylor gang was one of the most notorious train robbery crews in the West. And they say it was Sam Barrett's newspaper crusade that made them stop. I only wish he could have known this.
Well, maybe he does.
Whistle me up a memory, whistle me back where I wanna be, whistle a tune that'll carry me to Tombstone territory. If your past has run afoul of the law, it's a handy place to be, 'cause your future's just as good as your draw in Tombstone territory. Whistle me up a memory, whistle me back where I wanna be, to Tombstone territory.
Tombstone, Arizona Territory.
Harris? Quint? Clay, I'm glad you're back. There's something you ought to know. Fine, in a minute. First, I want you to meet somebody. Miss Gay Monahan, Harris Clyburn, head of the Epitaph. It's my deputy, Quint.
Miss Monahan?
All right, Smokey, line him out. Clay. Miss Monahan's a lawyer from the East. She's come out here to practice.
Well, welcome to Tombstone, Miss Monahan.
Thank you.
Miss Monahan, we'll stop by my office first. I'll take you over to your rooms at the Russ house.
Clay, listen,
I got you covered, Big Jim. Stand right where you are. Don't move any closer. Keep your hands away from your guns. Now, you're going to eat these lies you gave to the paper about me. You're going to take them back. What's it going to be, Big Jim? This or this?
It's going to be either one.
Are you on his side, too?
I'm not on anybody's side.
That includes your side, too, mister.
Now, you stay out of this, Clay. I'm warning you.
I want to see you down at the office. Harris?
Come on.
Who knows, Sheriff? You might have just saved my life. It was Feeney's life that I was trying to save. I don't know you, mister, but I think you should know that in Tombstone we like even odds, especially in a gunfight.
An actual account from the pages of my newspaper, the Tombstone Epitaph. This is the way it happened, in the town too tough to die. Tombstone Territory.
Maybe I was a little overly excited at first, but I ain't excited now, and it's about time you got back from where you've been. I want you to arrest Clyburn here and Big Jim Gerson for printing them lies about me.
Feeney, I was quoting Gerson. That's my duty as a newspaper man. That doesn't mean I hold with his views.
Well, listen to this. Big Jim Gerson, president and principal stockholder of the Congress Mine, has dispensed with the services of Feeney Spindler, mine superintendent, since the strike was made 3 years ago. Gerson returned for the first time in 2 years from the East, where he's been making his home, to investigate an alleged slump in the ore output from the Congress. No charges will be brought to bear. That's the same thing as calling me a thief.
Possibly slander and libel.
What was that?
Nothing. Just thinking out loud.
Besides, there ain't been no slump in the output from the Congress. I ought to know. I've been there myself all the time.
You know, Feeney, what you need's a lawyer, not a sheriff. Miss Monahan here just happens to be one.
One what?
A lawyer.
You mean she's a female lawyer?
If your statements are factual, Mr. Spindler, I would suggest you're serving Mr. Gerson immediately with a writ, ordering a cease mining operation until you can arrange for a hearing before the board of directors of the mine.
You would?
Yes. And mind you, I'm speaking as a registered member of the Vermont Bar.
Bar?
The Lawyers Association. And one of the finest in the country.
Why don't you leave it that way?
Sir?
I guess most men like girls with curls.
Well, I am not interested in what most men like, Mr. Clybourne. I adhere strictly to the rule, never mix business with pleasure. If you're interested in retaining me, Mr. Spindler, the writ will be ready first thing in the morning.
Well, I don't know. I ain't never seen a lawyer before who didn't wear pants. I mean,
Your meaning is quite clear.
All right. It's a deal. You're hired.
Fine. Sheriff,
Ma'am?
if you will bring a witness, preferably someone not associated with the law, you can call for the writ in the morning.
Yes, ma'am.
Good day, gentlemen.
I ain't never caught much of women myself. That's why I never got married.
It occurs to me that a bachelor misses something.
Well, take a look at that, would you? You know where that ice wagon's been? Up to the Congress, that's where. After returning from 2 years in the East, Mr. Gerson has to have his ice every day. Yes, sir.
Gerson has a private supply of ice stored in the ice house for his own use exclusively.
That ice house is practically overflowing with it.
Ice. Grown man like Big Jim Gerson taking his drinks mixed with ice in them. It's downright improper.
Harris, there's no need for both of us to go in. I'll just go see if she's out.
Oh, Miss Monahan is up. I'll just wait here and watch and listen.
Uh-huh. Morning.
Why, I must look a sight. It took longer than I planned. Almost all night, in fact. Oh, you'll have to have this court approved. Just any presiding signature will do.
Any presiding signature?
Yes. Oh, I mean a judge. Just any presiding judge. Sheriff? Is there something the matter?
Oh, nothing I can think of, ma'am. It's just your hair. I kind of like it this way. Morning, ma'am.
Sheriff, well, I often wear my hair this way. Well, I wouldn't want you to think that I had rearranged my hairdo just for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Clay, wait for me. I'm going along. Don't tell me there's a law against it because I know there ain't. I just want to see Gerson's face when you serve that writ on him.
All right, let's just get this approved. Clay Hollister, you make me sick. Why don't you let me shoot?
Well, mostly because you're a bad shot.
Sheriff, I want to see Gerson. Come ahead.
Sorry, Sheriff. Just a morning shot. Didn't know it was you.
Not much you didn't know it was us. I'd like to see you flat instead of upright right now.
Yeah. There's going to be no trouble. I told you that before. And the first person who starts it will answer to me.
Bravo, Sheriff. Spoken like a man of conviction. Oh, you are a man of conviction, aren't you, Sheriff?
I'm convinced about some things. Others I let ride until they're proven. I'm hoping that this will help prove something.
Feeney, you're stale. Not old, just stagnant. Why, you haven't grown with an idea since I first met you. As far as I'm concerned, you or any other man without growth might just as well be dead.
Well, I'll show you how dead I am.
Harris. Mr. Gerson, ideas don't always help a man grow. Boot Hill is just full of small men with big ideas.
Here comes the ice wagon, Mr. Gerson. It's a long, dry ride back. Before you go, perhaps you'd like a drink, chilled with ice.
That's where I'd like to see you, Gerson, on ice. Now, don't keep that gun-happy squirrel of yours away from me. That's where he'll end up, on ice. I'll see to it personally.
Perhaps some other time.
There'll be another time.
Looks like maybe Newton was wrong.
Newton?
Yeah, Sir Isaac. According to his theory, a wagon with ice should make a deeper track than a wagon without ice.
These tracks leading out are deeper.
Maybe Newton knew what he was talking about.
July 25, 1883.
Shall I send for Mr. Gerson?
I already have. Come on. I can't get in with you standing in front of it.
Down here, Sheriff.
Yeah, he's frozen to death. Must have been there all night.
I was in town. I heard you were looking for me.
Yes, I'd like you to make an identification.
Dusty. Frozen solid.
Must have been hit on the head before he was deposited here.
Dusty's a good man. Have you arrested Feeney yet? Now, both you and Clyburn were there yesterday when Feeney threatened to do this.
I don't usually arrest a man just for making threats.
Oh? But you do arrest people for murder, don't you, Sheriff?
Usually.
Good. Then you can detain Feeney. You can also tell the prosecution that I'll be at the trial as a witness.
But this whole thing's a frame-up. I tell you, I'm innocent.
Mr. Spindler, you are merely being detained, not arrested for murder. But if you don't stop shouting and help, it's just possible that you might hang.
I tell you, I'm innocent.
There it is. Let's go. Bird! Come on down.
Come in the line.
You know, you don't look so well, boy.
Why? I feel all right.
Oh, well, a lot of people feel all right, and then just like that, they're gone. But you needs a little rest. We're going to see that you get it.
Well, Sheriff, what can I do for you?
Bird's Gray isn't feeling too well. I'm helping him out with his ice delivery.
Now, that's real nice of you, Sheriff, but we don't need any ice today. Still got plenty left over from yesterday.
You sure?
Mm-hmm, quite sure.
Well, then maybe you'd like something delivered back to town?
No, nothing, thanks.
Anytime.
What do you think? Well, of course, the tracks are lighter since we dumped the ice, Clay.
Yeah. Seems like this is the first time Gearson hasn't had something delivered back to town. Something heavier than ice.
All right, Birds, let's go.
Come on, open it up. Glenn, take that side. I'll go down here.
You won't find anything in here, Sheriff.
For your sake, I hope you're right.
Don't anybody go for guns, or you'll die a little sooner.
Let me see your back.
That's close enough, Sheriff. Drop your gun, Bill. The pick. That large center block of ice, chip into it.
Full of silver ingots?
Like the Sphinx, I thought my secret was safe.
It was, up until now.
There's more over here, Clay. That's right, Sheriff. A great deal more. Enough to retire for a lifetime in style. 2 lifetimes, matter of fact. You see, I'm meeting a very charming lady in Mexico. I can't waste much more time. Kelly, get that stuff loaded.
But what about afterwards?
Oh, afterwards, it's going to be very cold, but you ain't going to feel it, Verge.
I won't feel it.
Now, with the door shut, it's soundproof in here. Now, you're going to have to die sooner or later, Verge. Take a choice.
Please help me, Sheriff. I had nothing to do with this killing. Please help me.
Ain't no help, Verge.
With you in a minute.
Well,
Well. You mean to say that you've had that in your trunk all the time?
you see, I thought it was important for me to prove myself as a lawyer. But I've discovered it's equally as important to prove myself as a woman.
Care for a postgraduate course?
Maybe. If I have time.
Time?
Yes. A friend of mine is arriving. Pemberton Brockway III. He's from home.
Army?
No. Military school. The uniforms are exciting, aren't they? You give up awfully easy.
Give up? I'm just wondering where I could get a uniform.
Some people don't need them.
matter? You look like you just lost your best friend.
Who needs friends? Hey, Quint. You don't happen to have a uniform, do you?
No, why? Hey, you aren't thinking of joining up, are you?
No.
Whistle me up a memory, whistle me back where I wanna be, whistle a tune that'll carry me to Tombstone territory. If your past has run afoul of the law, it's a handy place to be, 'cause your future's just as good as your draw in Tombstone territory. Whistle me up a memory, whistle me back where I wanna be, to Tombstone territory.
How's business been tonight?
Glad we don't have to depend on this for a living.
What do you mean I've held up? I just found myself a silver mine worth millions, and I'm going to celebrate proud.
I'll take care of it.
Now hand me one of them bottles. Now, that's fancy.
Give me the gun, Hal. Come on, hand it over.
I was just joking, Lily.
I know.
I'll take him to the sheriff.
He's gonna get some sleep.
I'm not finished celebrating.
You better watch out. The celebrating will finish you. Come on.
You mad at me, Lily?
No.
Still partners?
That was the agreement when I grub staked you.
And you're just as rich as I am. Why don't the two of us have just a tiny little... No?
No. You better get some sleep. Now, good night.
An actual account from the pages of my newspaper, the Tombstone Epitaph. This is the way it happened, in the town too tough to die. Tombstone territory. June 4, 1884. The killing of miner Hal Swanson led to an immediate investigation by Clay Hollister, who had long suspected the person and motive behind such killings. In an effort to gain proof, he formulated a daring plan of action.
Vic? Here's that note for Tulsa Jack. You won't have any trouble finding him. He'll be in Skeleton Canyon working his diggings. After that, you better ride on fast. We expect to be in Tucson by Wednesday.
Where's your deputy headed?
Trial in Tucson?
No. I thought maybe you had a lead on the Hal Swanson killing. Maybe I have. Hey, wait a second. What's the story?
Well, you can tell your readers that I expect to arrest Swanson's murderer in the near future.
I always have that set up. No kidding. Have you really got a lead?
Yeah, I think so. I just don't like where it leads.
Well?
Harris, who would you say is the most popular, best-liked woman in Tombstone?
Nellie Cashman.
No, I mean outside of Nellie.
Well, Lily Murdoch, I guess.
That's right.
Well, what's that got to do with... Lily Murdoch? You're not serious.
I checked the records at the courthouse and the claims office last night. In the last 3 months, 4 miners have been killed and 2 others have disappeared. And all of them either grub-staked by Lily or with a will made out in her benefit.
Clay, Lily couldn't be mixed up in...
I just said she might be.
Well, there's no motive. Lily doesn't care a hang for money. Look what she gives to the Miners Protective and the Orphans Fund.
I know, but you've got to face the fact that 6 men either died or disappeared and Lily benefited.
Where are you going?
I'm going to go talk to her. You know, I've heard if you get a woman mad enough, she's just liable to tell the truth.
Oh, she'll get mad, all right. Clay.
Yeah?
Lily Murdoch has a lot of friends. A lot of power in town. Suppose, well, just suppose you do find out she's involved in these killings.
Well?
Do you suppose you could prove it before you got run out of town?
This looks all right, Matt. Anything else?
Whitehead's offered $55,000 on Swanson's claim.
We're not ready to discuss price on that yet.
That's what I told him, but he...
Come in. Well, Hollister, good morning.
Morning. I hope I'm not interrupting.
We just finished. The rest of it can wait, Matt.
Yes, Miss Murdoch.
Matt? Well, Sheriff, this visit social or official?
Official, ma'am.
We can be official and comfortable at the same time, can't we?
Yes, ma'am. Miss Murdoch, there's hardly a miner in Tombstone that you haven't grub-staked at one time or another. And when you do, you enter into a 50-50 partnership with him, don't you?
Well, that's customary, isn't it? May I offer you something, Sheriff?
Oh, no, thank you. If the miner should die, do you automatically inherit his half of the partnership?
Only if he wants it that way.
Like Hal Swanson?
Well, yes. I use the money to grub-stake other miners, or I give it to charity.
You've been very generous.
As far as I'm concerned, Sheriff, money has only one real value, and that's for people to use.
I see. Miss Murdoch, you're an intelligent woman. Haven't you any idea why I'm asking you all these questions?
To be perfectly honest, not the faintest.
The person who benefits from a murder usually expects to be questioned, even if he or she has nothing to do with it.
What do you mean?
Recently, 6 miners have either been murdered or killed in what appeared to be accidents. In each case, you benefited by the death.
Do you mean that you think that somehow I engineered these accidents or killings or whatever they were? Well, that's the silliest nonsense I ever heard of. How dare you accuse me?
I haven't accused you.
And you better not if you don't want to make a fool out of yourself.
Miss Murdoch, I once knew a man by the name of Asa Watkins. He was a...
Now, why should I do such a thing? I certainly have plenty of money.
Mr. Watkins didn't need any money either. He was the bank clerk in my hometown. A modest, obscure little man who never spent a dime on himself, but he loved to help other people. Gave generously to the church, sent kids through college, paid for operations, supported needy families. Everybody loved him. But after his death, it was discovered that during his lifetime, he'd embezzled more than $60,000 from the bank.
Get out of here. I said get out of here.
You see, Mr. Watkins wanted so much to be loved and admired that he became a thief.
Wait. I have a lot of friends in Arizona, Mr. Hollister. Some of them important, like the governor. Some of them not so important.
I realize that.
You've insinuated things here that you can't prove. But my position, my success here, depends on my reputation for honesty and fair play. If you do anything to damage that reputation, I'll turn you out of office and have you run out of town.
But at least we understand each other. Good day, Miss Lily.
Did you hear?
He can't prove anything.
He could start a lot of talk.
Who'd believe him?
There are always people ready to believe anything.
Well, what do we do?
Sailor still in town?
Saw him yesterday.
Good. Fine sailor.
Who is he?
Gunslinger by the name of Sailor.
What do you have against you?
He was for hire.
June 5, 1884. Clay Hollister had deliberately set out to arouse Lily Murdoch's wrath, and he had been successful. A few hours later, an attempt was made on his life.
If you're so sure Lily hired that fellow last night, why aren't you doing something about it?
I am.
What, for instance?
Waiting?
For her to try again?
Oh, for reinforcements. On his way to Tucson, my deputy was going to deliver a letter.
A letter? Who to?
Tulsa Jack. One of the few miners Lily never had to stake.
Why Tulsa?
I did a favor for him once. He's going to do one for me now, I hope.
Hooray, boys! I've struck it rich! Struck it rich! Ha ha!
Tulsa Jack is crooked rich. Come on up, everybody. Come on up. Set 'em up, bartender. Set up the drink for all my friends and all them friends I never laid eyes on. Here's to me. Never had a dime of my own, and now look at me. 10,000 goats and plenty more where that come from. Have a drink, everybody. Come on, keep putting them up there, bartender.
After he's had a few more, bring him up to see Lily.
Well, just like any other creek you ever saw. Just you can jump over it, you know. It's shallow water and a sandy bottom. And underneath the sand was all this silver. Been collecting there for hundreds of years. Hundreds, maybe thousands of years, you know. Sort of like in a pocket. And now it's in my pocket.
Where is all this, Tulsa?
In Skeleton Canyon, the other side of Charleston.
Oh? I thought your claim was,
Well, no, that's just it, Lily. You see, it wasn't my claim. I don't know who it belonged to, so I had to get the stuff out fast. Loaded what I could in the saddlebags and then hid the rest. What I put in your safe wasn't 1/5 of it. So tomorrow, I'm gonna take out horses, pack horses, and bring out the rest.
Well, that's wonderful, Tulsa. It couldn't happen to a nicer person.
And you're sweet, too. Well, I gotta get back to my friends. You down there where the boys are, they'll be missing me.
I'm sure they will.
Lily, thanks for the drinks. You sure are nice.
Boys?
Oh, the setup couldn't be better.
I don't know. The sheriff's snooping around. I don't want to risk it.
Well, where's the risk? You didn't stake the old boy. There's no connection between you and him. Now, Sam and I'll bring the silver in and nobody will know.
No, Matt.
Now, look, we've played along. Let you give away half of everything we've taken in.
That's part of the setup.
Yeah, but lately you've been a little too generous. You act like you like throwing money away.
Well, it's paid off, hasn't it? Why do you think people trust me? Would Tulsa talk as freely to anybody else?
Look, the point is, we're the only ones that know. We can keep all of it, Lily, except the stuff he put in the safe. We'll turn that over to the sheriff.
All right. Go ahead, but be careful.
June 6, 1884. Despite a headache of major proportions, Tulsa Jack rented 2 pack mules and headed back out of Tombstone.
Tulsa! It's about time you showed up. What'd I have to go through in the name of friendship?
You enjoyed every minute of it, and you know it.
Last night, yes, but not now. I wish them meadowlarks wouldn't sing so loud.
Well, there's some cover in those trees up there. Let's go. This ought to be good enough. How'd it go?
Well, I said everything you wrote me, and I made it sound good. But you're branding the wrong steer, Clay. Lily ain't no crook. She's nice.
Maybe.
Well, I know a good woman when I see one, I'll tell you.
Well, if your eyesight's so good, who's that coming up the trail?
Well, I'll be. Lily's boys.
You don't think they're riding out to Skeleton Canyon for their health, do you?
Well, them dirty...
You didn't tell them about the silver, did you?
Oh, no, just Lily. Like I said, looks like he was right. What do we do next?
I'm riding back to town. You stay out of sight. Tomorrow about noon, we're going to give Miss Lily Murdoch the shock of her life. Up for him.
The afternoon of June 7th, 1884.
Who's that? Tulsa Jack?
Yeah. He's been shot. You, get Doug Cunningham.
Matt, Sam, come in here.
What's the matter?
So Tulsa never showed up.
What are you talking about? Of course he didn't show up.
You're lying. What did you do with the silver?
I tell you, we didn't see any silver. Tulsa didn't show up.
I see. You decided to cut me out and split the silver between you.
Now, wait a minute. Now, look, Lily, put down that gun and listen to me. We didn't find any silver. Tulsa didn't show up.
Really? Then how come his horse just brought him in with a bullet in his back?
What?
Now, I'd give you just 5 seconds to level with me.
Look, Lily.
Your time is just about up. Who is it?
Hollister.
Come in. What do you want, Sheriff?
It's about Tulsa.
Matt's just been telling me he's been hurt.
He was shot in the back.
Oh, no. Is he?
He's in the hospital. He's holding on. He wants to see you.
Of course. I'll go right away.
You better come along, too.
What for?
You'll find out.
Lily.
Right here, Tulsa.
The doc says I ain't got a chance.
Now, that's nonsense, Tulsa. You're gonna be all right.
That silver in your safe is all I got. I want you to have it.
I'll keep it for you, Tulsa, till you're up and around again.
Tulsa. I want you to take a look at these men. Are they the ones that shot you?
Oh, now, what is this?
You loco? We never even seen him before.
Let him answer.
Yeah, them's the one.
He's lying.
Are you positive?
Yeah, they must have heard me talking to Lily.
You're under arrest.
Oh, now, wait a minute,
The victim
Sheriff.
identified you. That's enough for any jury. Turn around.
I'm not going to take this. It's a frame-up.
You want to make a statement?
I got plenty to talk about if it'll keep me from hanging.
Plenty to talk about who?
Never mind, Hollister. Take his guns. Put up your hands.
I underestimated you, Miss Lily. I didn't think you carried a gun.
Good thing I do.